When tech billionaire Henry Morrison handed the microphone to Lily Chen, a scholarship student from the poorest neighborhood in Los Angeles, he expected her to fail. His smirk said everything: she didn't belong on that stage. But what happened next would shatter his reputation in front of 1,000 witnesses, change one girl's life forever, and prove that some voices refuse to be silenced. Industry executives leaned forward. Cameras rolled. And Henry Morrison's world was about to crumble with a single note. Westside Performing Arts Academy stood like a fortress in the Los Angeles hills, its glass buildings reflecting wealth that Lily Chen would never know. She walked through corridors filled with designer backpacks and students discussing family vacations in Paris, her worn messenger bag marking her as different. The scholarship student from East LA had learned to navigate two worlds simultaneously, never quite belonging to either. Lily pressed her notebook closer to her chest as she passed Marcus Morrison and his friends near the performance hall entrance. They occupied the center of the hallway like royalty, which made sense considering the Morrison family's substantial donations to the academy. Their laughter echoed off expensive marble floors as someone mentioned the upcoming talent show. "Did you hear?" a girl with perfect highlights announced loudly. "Marcus's father is the special guest judge. Henry Morrison himself. My dad says he's brutally honest about talent." Marcus leaned against the lockers with practiced confidence. "Dad can spot fake talent instantly. He's launched careers and ended them with a single comment." Lily's fingers tightened around her notebook. Inside were lyrics she'd worked on for months, songs born from late nights and early mornings, written between homework shifts at her aunt's restaurant. Nobody at Westside had heard her sing. Music was her sanctuary, taught to herself in a tiny bedroom with thin walls, shaped by her grandmother's old records of Aretha, Nina Simone, and Lauryn Hill. "You signing up for the talent show?" Her friend David caught up with her at her locker. Lily shrugged, though the application form was already tucked between her textbooks. "It's not exactly designed for people like me." "You mean incredibly talented people who could destroy these trust fund karaoke singers?" David raised an eyebrow. "Come on, Lily. That voice of yours needs to be heard." But with Henry Morrison judging, the man famous for his cutting remarks and zero tolerance for what he called mediocrity, Lily wondered if her voice would even matter. The talent show wasn't just another high school competition. Westside's industry connections meant agents, producers, and record label scouts filled the audience every year. Past winners had landed recording contracts, Broadway auditions, and film roles. For students with wealthy parents, it was one opportunity among many. For Lily, it might be the only door that would ever open. Ms. Garcia, the music teacher who had advocated for Lily's scholarship, appeared beside her locker. "Application deadline is today," she said casually, sliding a flyer onto Lily's books. "That voice deserves to be heard, Lily." After Ms. Garcia walked away, David nudged her shoulder. "See? Even the teachers know you're special." Lily had never performed her original music publicly. Her compositions lived in her headphones, in private moments when the practice rooms were empty after school. But first place included professional studio time, recording hours she could never afford otherwise. Hours that could change everything. Later that afternoon, her hand trembling slightly, she slipped her application into the submission box. Her heart hammered against her ribs as she walked away, wondering if she'd just made the biggest mistake of her life. The finalist list appeared on the digital board 1 week later. Students clustered around it, phones out, reactions ranging from celebration to theatrical disappointment. Marcus Morrison stood at the center, accepting congratulations like a prince receiving tribute. Lily hung back, scanning names from a distance until David whispered in her ear, "You're on there. 7th slot." Her stomach dropped. Her name glowed in digital letters among 15 finalists. This was actually happening. "What are you performing?" someone asked. Lily turned to find Sophia, Marcus's girlfriend, studying her with narrowed eyes. "An original song," Lily replied, the words feeling strange in her mouth. Sophia's expression shifted to something almost sympathetic. "Bold choice. Especially with Mr. Morrison judging. He's not exactly gentle with criticism." The weeks before the show blurred into endless rehearsal, work, and mounting doubt. The talent show evening arrived with electric anticipation. The auditorium filled with students, parents, faculty, and industry professionals scattered throughout the crowd. Backstage, performers ran through routines, checked makeup, and adjusted costumes. Marcus Morrison occupied the prime dressing area, surrounded by friends doubling as an entourage. Lily found a quiet corner with just her lyrics, going through breathing exercises. The song felt both intensely personal and somehow separate from her now, like a living thing she'd nurtured that would soon have to stand alone. A commotion near the stage door drew everyone's attention. Henry Morrison had arrived, flanked by assistants and school administrators who fluttered around him anxiously. He moved with the easy confidence of someone who had never questioned his right to occupy any space. "Dad." Marcus broke away from his group, exchanging a backslapping embrace with his father. Henry surveyed the backstage area with clinical precision. "Quite the production you've got here, son. Better be worth missing my Tokyo conference call." His eyes found Lily in her corner, lingered for a moment on her simple black dress and worn boots, then moved on without acknowledgement. She was invisible. Furniture. Background noise. The realization should have hurt, but instead it steadied something inside her. She would be seen tonight. She would be heard. The show began with a dance troupe, followed by a classical pianist, a comedian whose family connections were more impressive than his jokes, and a surprisingly good rock band. Marcus performed sixth, his professionally arranged pop cover earning enthusiastic applause, particularly from the front rows where Henry sat with the other judges. Then the stage manager called her name. Lily walked onto the stage, the spotlight simultaneously blinding and exposing. The microphone stand waited at center stage. No props, no backdrop, no distractions. She adjusted the microphone height, conscious of the silence stretching awkwardly. From the front row, she heard a theatrical sigh. "Could we possibly move things along?" Henry Morrison's voice carried effortlessly. "Some of us have actual businesses to run." Nervous laughter rippled through the audience. The head judge, a local radio personality, leaned toward his microphone. "Please introduce yourself and your performance." "I'm Lily Chen," she said, her voice initially soft before she corrected it. "I'll be performing an original song called Unbreakable." "Original?" Henry Morrison interrupted, eyebrows raised in exaggerated surprise. "Well, that's ambitious. Let me guess, sweetheart. Something soulful and emotional? That's what you people usually excel at, right?" The auditorium temperature seemed to drop 10 degrees. Some audience members shifted uncomfortably. Others pretended to check their phones. Marcus and his friends exchanged glances, half embarrassed, half amused. Lily's fingers tightened around the microphone stand. The familiar pressure built in her chest, the pressure of words unspoken, of dignity maintained at personal cost, of anger transformed into something else because it had to be. Henry Morrison leaned back in his judge's chair, legs crossed casually. "I'm just saying, know your lane. My foundation funds several excellent youth programs in underprivileged areas. Tremendous cultural tradition there." The radio host cleared his throat. "Mr. Morrison, perhaps we should." No, I'm genuinely curious." Morrison's smile didn't reach his eyes. "Did you write this yourself or did you have assistance?" The question hung in the air, its implication clear to everyone. "I wrote it myself," Lily replied, her voice steadier than she felt. "Impressive. Most students here have coaches, producers." He glanced meaningfully at his son in the wings. "Though sometimes even that isn't enough." In the third row, Miss Garcia sat forward rigidly. Beside her, David mouthed, "You've got this." "Well, let's hear it then," Morrison continued. "Though if you're open to suggestions, perhaps something more accessible. A cover of a popular song might be safer for someone at your—" He paused deliberately. "Experience level." The microphone trembled slightly in Lily's hand, but not from fear. Something was building inside Lily. Not just anger, but a clarity she hadn't expected. This moment suddenly felt familiar, as though she'd rehearsed it alongside her song. "The piece is personal, Mr. Morrison," she said. "It's about finding your voice when others have decided what it should sound like." A ripple of murmurs crossed the auditorium. Morrison's expression flickered between surprise and annoyance at being directly addressed. "Bold," he said, recovering quickly. "I appreciate confidence when it's earned." He made a show of checking his watch. "Tell you what, I'll make this interesting. I'll personally add $1,000 to the first place prize if you actually impress anyone tonight." More murmurs, louder this time. The other judges exchanged glances, clearly uncomfortable, but no one challenged him. The sound engineer gave Lily a thumbs up, indicating her backing track was ready. Just simple piano accompaniment she'd recorded in the school's music room. Nothing like the professional productions other contestants had. Lily closed her eyes for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Then opened them with something new in her gaze. She stepped closer to the microphone, her voice clear now. "Sir, I'm not here for your money. I'm here for something you can't buy." The audience held its collective breath. No one spoke to Henry Morrison that way. Not competitors, not business partners, certainly not high school students. In the front row, Morrison's relaxed posture stiffened. The amused smile remained fixed on his face, but a flush crept up his neck. Before we waste everyone's time, Morrison held up his hand before she could begin. I'm curious. What exactly is this song about? The interruption was calculated, designed to throw her off balance. It's about finding strength in silence, Lily answered, the irony not lost on her. Silence? That's an odd theme for a singing competition. Morrison's laugh invited others to join in. A few obliged, mostly from Marcus's section. The song is my own, Mr. Morrison. Lily's voice remained level. If you'll allow me to perform it. Of course, of course. He waved his hand magnanimously. Though I should warn you, the industry professionals here aren't looking for amateur compositions. They want commercially viable talent. Blood rushed in Lily's ears. She could walk off now, preserve what dignity remained, avoid further humiliation. No one would blame her. You know, Morrison continued, warming to his role, my foundation provides mentorship to underprivileged youth interested in business. Much more practical than music. The entertainment industry can be unreceptive to certain backgrounds without the right connections. Several audience members looked down at their programs. Others checked their phones, creating the illusion of distraction from the uncomfortable spectacle. Mr. Morrison, Lily said, her voice finding new strength. You've interrupted me twice now. You've questioned my abilities, my background, and my choices. You've suggested I should perform someone else's music instead of my own. She paused, conscious of the growing tension. I wonder if you've extended the same guidance to the other contestants tonight. A soft murmur rippled through the audience. Morrison's easy smile tightened. I'm only trying to help you avoid embarrassment, Miss Chen. But by all means, proceed with your original plan. It's your moment to waste. From the wings, Marcus was no longer smiling. I appreciate your concern, Lily replied. But I'd rather fail authentically than succeed by pretending to be something I'm not. Morrison's jaw tightened almost imperceptibly. Fine words. Let's see if your talent matches your confidence. Lily stood frozen in the spotlight, the weight of what she'd done settling on her shoulders. Whatever happened next, there would be no returning to invisibility. I don't want your money, Mr. Morrison, she said quietly, each word distinct. I just want 3 minutes to sing without interruption. Can you give me that? The opening notes of the piano track filled the auditorium. This time no one interrupted. When Lily finally sang, her first notes emerged soft and clear, almost conversational. They say stay quiet, stay small, draw inside all the lines. Don't take up too much space at all. Let them tell you who you are. Her voice carried vulnerability that drew listeners closer. Not polished or overproduced, but honest, textured with real emotion. As she moved into the chorus, her voice opened fully, revealing colors and textures that transformed the simple backing track into something magnificent. I am more than your assumptions, more than names you give to me. I am voice, I am vision, I am all you'll never see. By the final line of the chorus, Lily's voice soared into a controlled belt that filled every corner of the auditorium. Perfect pitch. Precise control. Effortless power. Henry Morrison's smug expression had frozen, struggling to reconcile his assumptions with undeniable evidence. She looked directly at him as she delivered the bridge. You can try to name my limits, try to tell me where I stand, but my worth isn't yours to measure. My voice isn't yours to command. The final note lingered, pure and unwavering as the piano faded. Complete silence followed. For 3 full seconds, not a single person moved or breathed. Then from the third row, Ms. Garcia stood, hands coming together in deliberate applause. The sound broke the spell, releasing collective tension in a wave. The applause multiplied like a building storm. Students rose, then parents, then entire rows. The famous producer stood abruptly. The radio host followed. Only Henry Morrison remained seated, his expression caught between disbelief and calculation. Lily stood center stage, no longer seeming small or uncertain. The silence had held meaning beyond absence of sound. It was recognition, recalibration, respect. Everything had changed.